Please welcome Alex Houdz. Yay!
Thank you, Brooke. Hello, everyone. Hope everybody's good. The cocktail yesterday, not too many. I had a bit, but they were very, very good. So, all right. So for today's talk, my very first thing was, how do I make sure that UX, and because UX is a very wide topic, how do I show it, and how do I make sure that you guys can get out of my talk with something, one idea, and so I felt like maybe the best way to do that is truly like focusing on a couple of screens, but not really going through all of the flows. So you will see what I'm talking about in a couple of minutes. First thing I wanted to ask here is, who is a builder? And when I mean like a builder, I mean it can be a developer, product manager, designer, product marketer, growth. Like anything that you do is basically like to make your product successful. So like in the audience, who is a builder? You are? No builder? See? All right, so about 30% of it, and you will see that that's already some learning. And who knows about Hyperliquid? Hyperliquid, nobody knows? Hyperliquid, nobody knows. Okay, so you will see big learnings. All right, so in this talk, so as I was saying, I want to basically have you guys leave this talk with one main idea or one lesson that you can always like apply to your building cycle for yourself, and to make sure that you are actually building like successful product. With these lessons, I will give you 3 tips to basically execute a framework and to make sure that you can always have that lesson in mind. And then obviously I will share some example and some screen to illustrate what I'm meaning. So the main idea, very evident, but I want to really reassess this, because this is something we've done a lot mentoring clients and other teams like participating in hackathon, is that they always think that they understand their target audience, and you can always challenge it. Like you can always go deeper to a level of audience, just by making sure that you are actually understanding them to the right level. Because as I said, UX is a wide project, is a wide expertise, and actually understanding your audience is one of the very first steps for you to create great UX. So the 3 tips to actually understand well your audience. The very first one is something that you need to deconstruct yourself on. It's that the human, they love to do assumptions. Like for example, I did assumptions that everybody here will be a builder. I already proved myself wrong, right? So the goal is you always need to ask yourself, like, is this assumption real, and how can I verify it? That's the only way for you to actually progress on your product, and instead of I'm doing an assumption, I'm building, and then I'm testing it to user, and it's already too late, and then I'm going to be frustrated because I have to pivot, or I'm too scared to pivot because I was wrong. And this is the only way for you to rewire your mindset and to actually say like, okay, every time you have an assumption, is it actually true? And if I don't know, like, how can I actually verify it? So that's the main first point. Second point is, you always have to start small and then get bigger as you scale, as you understand more your target audience. That is literally like, this is the main problem of most of the teams here in Web3, because they are all very young, and like it's usually small teams, and they don't have like this knowledge that some Web2 teams might have, which is like, you need to nail down on one very specific feature before starting to scaling on something. And I understand like the people would love to like try to tackle 2 problems, because it's always funnier to, we do one, then we do another one, and so you kind of like do a full spectrum of like of features. But the thing with this, when you start scaling too fast, is that you actually don't really deeply enough understand your target audience. So we come back to this, right? It's like, if you don't stay enough on one specific feature, you will never have enough time and knowledge and depth of understanding that will make actually your product a successful one, because you will just be at the surface level of every features, right? And then the third one is, again, something very evident. A lot of things are evident in this talk, but this is as well the basics. UX is the basics. It's about evidence and making sure that you have empathy. And talking to your user is one of the best ways to actually understand this target audience. And so you can do that in multiple forms, right? You can do that through user interviews. We've done a lot as well in UX audit. This is heavy work, but that's as well how you get like the main insight, right? So you can as well do in surveys, you can do like checking your Discord, like the support tickets, like this is a way for you, like this is a gold mine of information. Your user are basically the only person you want to get some information from, right? So those 3 tips are basically like a framework for you to always keep in mind in order for you to better understand your target audience. And so in the example, I'm going to focus on this, the narrow first, then scale, because the first, so not assuming anything and talking to your user are more like internal things that your team needs to have, but it's very difficult to show it like on screens, right? However, the narrow first and then scale, you will see. So a couple of examples or success story. So the first one, Revolut. And I like to go on Web Archive from time to time to see like how like the successful team today were at their their first day of launch, right? So it's 2015. So Revolut, the app that we know now, like it's 10 years before. What they do, and we don't see it well, but on their landing page, they were only about sending and spending money. Like literally, you could only do that. And this is a very good example of like, start small and then you scale later. And you will see how they scale. 2021, so it's 6 years after, they are now like all things money. So they've passed from spending and sending money to you have now a bank directly in your mobile. And you can do everything that as a bank will do, right? You can save, you can get a loan, you can do, like, I don't know, changing between your accounts. Like, you can do everything. This is 6 years after, 6 years. Like, it's like you don't even know how much work is that for Revolut, how much money raised, how many people hired in order to have all of those features. Right now, you can see there are some apps in Web3 that try to do that already day one. There are only 10 people. This is just not possible. Like, so you got to be honest with yourself, not assume things, and this works as well by just making sure you always scale down. And now 2025, Revolut is literally using new words now, like money. So it's like they are creating a verb, and it's basically, this is the money app. So you can do literally everything about money. It's not only a bank, you can do crypto, you can do investment, like literally whatever money things that you can do is on Revolut. This is 2025. It's been 10 years for them to achieve their vision, and they did that because they were able to target audience one after another after the feature because they nailed it down. And you need to have a very strong foundation in your product in order to be able to grow and scale on top of other feature. This is the main trap that most of the team do, is like they want to try to tackle so many problems at the same time. This is the screen of Revolut in 2015. So you see, like, literally there is nothing. You have a card, you have a spending, and that's it. Like, they don't try to overcome so many problems. They just do one thing and they do it amazing. Now, compared to 2021 and 2025, there are as well so many like very interesting things. So unfortunately, we can't read that well, but the first screen is like, you can manage better your money in 2021, while here it's like, you can literally change the way you are using money. So it's, again, another thinking and another dimension that they came in. When you continue the onboarding, you see that now on Revolut, again, it's 2021. So you can do 4 things. We can't see them, but like it's sending, spending, having a card, and I think saving money. 4 things only. It's 2021, right? Like it's been 6 years that they are active, and they only did 4 things in the applications. Now 2025, they literally went all in. I don't know how many there are in Revolut, but I think like there are more like hundreds of people in the product teams only, and you can do all of those things. Like literally, this is just a showcase of take your time, scale after once you have a right foundation, and then yeah, getting starting is basically like, as I was saying, those four things. While in 2025 now, they are even reached to a point of scaling that they can even target even more their audience. For example, here in this plan, this is a premium plan, and they are targeting basically the digital nomad life. It's like you can go on Revolut, and you are going to have an eSIM, you are going to have like Perplexity, you can have Tinder as well. Like they have a target audience of, it's so specific, you know. So this is really amazing lessons from Revolut. Is like, to me, this is one of the best application that you can ever have. Like if you guys are interested about good UX, you should download Revolut and see it for yourself. It's literally changing your vision of what's a good mobile app. Now, a bit about Web3, MetaMask. So this is 2017, and here, this is like their website was horrible, and they were not even mentioning about their wallet. They were just saying we are the entry door to Ethereum. Okay, that's literally the only thing they were doing. So again, we start small and then we start scaling. MetaMask in 2021, they are now a crypto wallet. They are the gateway to blockchain apps. So it's not only Ethereum anymore, it's EVMs, and they are now a crypto wallet, a gateway. They still kept this, but now they really make it like, okay, now you can do other things that's just not signing a transaction. You can actually swap. You can do many other things. And now MetaMask in 2025, they are your home of Web3. So now you can literally basically do everything that you will need in Web3. And again, this is from 2017. So it took them 8 years to get there. Remember, like, stay on your ground. Don't scale too fast. Now, another success story that I wanted to share, and this is a very good example of, I did a lot of assumptions before doing this talk. And as you guys said, like none of you knew Hyperliquid, maybe some, but definitely not the full audience. I wanted to talk about the perps of Hyperliquid. So Hyperliquid is a platform where you can trade any tokens with some leverage. So that's what we call perps. And this Hyperliquid platform was so successful for the last 2 years that they created as well what we call APIs to connect themselves from basically your liquidity, from their liquidity, right? And now this is something that MetaMask and Phantom have integrated like since a couple of months only. And what I wanted to show you this is that, so the screens is not really relevant here, but what my point is like, first, they are all looking similar, right? They are not reinventing anything. Like this is MetaMask. This is Phantom. They are basically like explaining to their user now, like, okay, this is how you do perps. That's it. Like they don't go like in fancy things. They just reproduce something that has been done. But the good thing about like the amazing choice that they made is like they listen to the market, and they heard that, yeah, Hyperliquid was so successful. Maybe we could bring that feature into our application. And so that's how basically it's an understanding, it's a next level of understanding of your target audience. It's like when you get to that stage where you can even start innovating. And just to show you why it's a success story, now this is, so we are here, right? Beginning of October, MetaMask started their perps. In 2 months, roughly, they made 1 million of fees. Like this is actual revenue. So it's like you have your base, application, you can see like there is like a volume coming in from Hyperliquid, and then you just, and it's not just, right, but like you create a new flows for your user and you plug it to your API, and in 2 months you get to 1 million revenue. This is insane. Obviously this is MetaMask, so it's very hard to have the user base of MetaMask, but this is showing you like the framework that you can use by understanding your target audience, place you actually in those positions where you can make choice like this after of innovating with new features. And here, this is Phantom. So then they start in July. So it's 5 months from here, 10 millions of revenue. Again, this is one of the best use case scenario in terms of product management in crypto. So I encourage you to, guys, if you don't have already, like to have Phantom, to have MetaMask, Rabi. Today, basically, the best apps are wallets, and they are basically using the framework as Revolut. Now, as a summary, so as I said, like you gotta understand your target audience, and when I say that, like myself included, right? I was wrong. Like I assume many things. How could I have tested? I don't know yet. Maybe I should have talked to you before and then kind of like update my talk at the same time, but that would have been a bit harder. But we can all like understand better our target audience, and I think this is something that we need to do as a routine always. And in order to do that, you kill your assumptions. Okay, so like it's like rewind your brain. Is like you always have to verify your assumptions. Start small and then scale. I think this one like. I think everybody understood that, right? Like, you gotta really focus on one thing, do it well, and then start scaling. And then finally, like, talk. Like, this is the only way for you to actually nail your UX, because UX is user experience. This is human. It's not. We're not talking about machine or anything. You need to talk to people in order to have good UX. Thank you, everyone. I'm here. I will be there the full day. We will have a panel as well in couple of minutes, so if you guys want to connect, this is my Telegram, and yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex. Do any of you have any questions for Alex? I got this fancy microphone and everything. Nobody? I have a question. So when we talk about like target audience, it's a human thing, right? You have to like work with people's personalities and people's, like you said, assumptions. Where do you get the patience, and your team like gets the patience? Do you have to have like conversations about that? Like, okay, this client's a little unruly.
Yeah, so that's a good question, and that's why I'm saying
I ask all the good questions. Yeah. These guys don't have any questions.
You have a very good question. This is actually why you get to start.
Put this closer to your mouth. There you go.
This is actually why you get to start smaller, because I would say that one product manager can handle 3 features maximum. So he can understand 3 target audience at the maximum.
Right.
And that's how, like you were asking about patience. I think like you gotta have some sort of, you gotta be deep enough into one feature, one target audience. If not, you are going to be always surface level, and then that's where like it's the same as when you talk to people. Like if you just do chit chat, you never get to the deeper things, and it's not interesting. Right. So it's not about patience. I would say it's more about like making sure that you are putting your team in the right position so they can actually go into meaningful discussions and learning by doing like a better target audience. Yes.
Love that. Thank you, Alex. That was a surgical UX breakdown. So everyone give him a round of applause. This was fantastic.